Hello my fellow gamers, welcome back to Comfortable Gaming. We're talking best stealth games on Xbox Game Pass. So if you're that type of player that likes to approach each battle from stealth, tactically approach these, sneaking in, taking out your enemies, then these are the games for you. And let's just get straight into the list. And no better way to start off the list than with Hitman Trilogy, as you take the role of Agent 46 in this third installment, and which is really great with Game Pass that you get all three Hitman trilogies on Game Pass. This released in February onto Game Pass, and if you ask me, this is one of the best stealth games you can play that is out there, and we are fortunate enough that all three of these are on Game Pass, and it's definitely worth your time to take out. If you never played Hitman, it's one of the best games I've always played and a great franchise, and Agent 46 is just such a badass. And the way you can take out targets in each mission is so tailored so well to, you can go this route, poisoning, shooting target. There's so many different ways to approach each mission, which really makes it so much fun that it's not just a bland stealth game, or you sneak here, sneak do that. It offers so much variety. You can go loud if you choose to be, but I mean, it wouldn't be a Hitman game if you don't try to take your target out as a professional hitman. But again, you can go crazy and loud need be, and some missions do offer that choice, or do sometimes happen that you need to do that. I absolutely love this game too. Weapon designs and the customizer, what weapon to use for each mission. I love Hitman, and all three of them on Game Pass. Check them out, guys, if you haven't played these games. If you're looking for the newest stealth games you can play, Sniper Elite 5 was day one onto Game Pass. It released a couple of months back and absolutely loved it. On the day it released, I downloaded and played it. Also similar to Hitman, the stealth approach of every way you can attack each mission completely different to the other. And who doesn't like killing Nazis? I mean, and this is the fifth installment, so clearly people have a fan favorite of killing Nazis. And the slow cam kills are back and better than ever. Every little detail of this game I absolutely loved. To each mission that was done, and I love this approach of being in Paris this time around, and it just was beautifully done, and beautiful way to approach things. And done this, you do really feel like a sneak special operative sniper in this game. One of the best ones on Game Pass at the moment, Sniper Elite 5. Do check it out. Next up we got A Plague Tale: Innocence, and this is one of the best games on Game Pass you can play, with a really gripping story in this really harsh world. And the main approach is stealth and survival and that sort of thing, how to survive in this Plague Tale world. And I don't want to spoil it too much. The best I can say about this game is go down and play it. We're getting in September, Plague Tale Requiem is coming, which is a sequel to this game. Highly anticipated sequel for this game. That just tells you everything, how much people like this first one. And it is on Game Pass, so I suggest playing this one before playing the new one, and you're not gonna go wrong here. It's a very gruesome story, really done well, and a really great stealth game as well. And I just loved every minute of this story. It's such a great game, and I can talk about this game a lot, and I don't want to go on and rant. My best suggestion is, if you still haven't played it and you're looking for a stealth game, download this on Game Pass, try it and play it. I'm sure you will love it. There's so much to love with this game. One of the most badass games on this list, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. One of the coolest stealth ways to take out targets. With its revolutionary Nemesis system comes the sequel, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. If you haven't played Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, this is the sequel to this game. And someone who loves Tolkien's universe, Lord of the Rings are one of my favorite movies, the books, The Hobbit. I absolutely love this universe. I love Tolkien's work. It's one of my favorite stuff of all time. So when anything comes that says Middle-earth on it, I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna play it. And obviously I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this, but this is not a bad game by any means, and it's a really great game. If you played Batman Arkham Asylum and that sort of thing, it is a Warner Bros. Studio game, so you'll find the combat very similar in that way as you approach fights. You can brand huge legions of orc armies to your command as you take them out, or bind them to your will as you're a wraith who can command. And as you go straight into Mordor, fighting directly against Sauron, building your own orc army and stuff. And stealth is a huge key in this game. as you approach it. The second one takes a little bit more ambitious than the first one, with huge fort battles, the nemesis system being even more refined, the combat even being better, and then just more and more stuff to do. It's an epic tale in Tolkien's universe, and if you love this sort of thing and you love deep fantasies like this with a really great stealth approach and really great combat, I love the combat in this game, then look no further. This is also one of the best on Game Pass if you ask me, and just such a great game to play and a very satisfying combat in this game to play. I loved every minute of it, but again, I'm a huge Tolkien fan, but again, I know you're not gonna go wrong here. This is a really fun and really great game. Check it out on Game Pass. Next up, we got one huge stealth game, which is Assassin's Creed Origins, and this one takes you into Egypt in the Assassin's Creed universe, and you explore the origins of assassins. So, speaking of stealth, these games used to be defined and painful on stealth and different things of combat, as the Assassin's Creed games have been. Now, as the latest Assassin's Creed, including this one, Odyssey and Valhalla, have taken a little bit more of an RPG approach. Origins still pays a lot of homage to its original assassin, sneaky and stealth type of parts of it, compared to, I feel like Odyssey was very much an RPG more than it was a stealth game, and Valhalla was a little bit all over the place for me. Origins still feels like a good Assassin's Creed with new things and things like that. So it's one of the best, and who doesn't love to explore ancient Egypt in its time with one of the best Assassin's Creed stories, if you ask me. I love Payek's story in this one. You explore Egypt, and I just like the new inventory system as it was from the previous ones when they changed this one in Assassin's Creed Origins. Ship battles are back, and there's just a lot to do here, and a massive, beautiful open world. One thing I always give Ubisoft is maybe they do a lot of rinse and repeats with games, but the open worlds are always stunning to look at and very detailed done. Whoever is on the Ubisoft teams that creates these maps and huge locations, they're always so stunningly done and engaging to do so. There's so much content here to play, and it's such a great game. I mean, I cannot put Assassin's Creed on the list if it's best stealth games on Game Pass, and this is surely a great banger to sit and play. I always recommend Assassin's Creed Origins, and it might be your next game that you get into on Game Pass and play. And now we have one of the best superhero games ever, and this one is Batman Arkham Knight, the third installment in the Arkham series. This is one of my favorite superhero games, not just because I love Batman. I did love the Spider-Man games on PlayStation, but I do feel like this is still the king of any superhero game so far that has come in a long time, and it still exceeds anything I've played so far. Spider-Man was great, but these Batman games are absolutely the best. Arkham Knight is just another great installment. I loved all three of them so much, and being Batman, of course, stealth is hugely emphasized, and like I said before, if you played Middle-earth Shadow of War, you'll feel a little bit at home with combat. It's a little different, but it does very similar combat and gameplay to that. Plus the stealth is done really well in this game as you take targets out as Dark Knight. One of the best stories, world to design, combat, bosses. There's a lot to love here. There's so many great Riddler's challenge in the third one, stuff to explore. It's just so much to do, and if you never play these games, I suggest jumping in and playing them. And if you're looking for a great stealth game, then playing as Batman, you can't really go wrong. It's so awesome. And in the third installment, you get to use the Batmobile quite a lot, which is one of the most badass things in game I think I've used. It's such an awesome thing. And I just love this game a lot, and I love all three of them. I wish all three of them on Game Pass, but I suggest playing this one if you haven't played. It doesn't matter, they're great stealth games, and who doesn't want to be Batman, I mean. Next up we got Origami, and this is a full-on stealth game. And it's a small indie game that people overlook sometimes. Do not overlook this game. I love every minute of this game, and out of all the games on this list, this is probably the most stealth you will get out of the game. It's highly emphasized on stealth, and someone who really doesn't like stealth games per se, I've never been a huge Splinter Cell fan, and Metal Gear Solid and those sort of games, the original Assassin's Creed. I loved being stealthy in this game so much. And as you take the role of Origami, who's like an ultimate assassin with supernatural abilities, there's so many fun ways to approach each scenario and each things in this game. And you really do become the ultimate assassin in this game. It's really done well. And for a small indie game, there's a lot to love here. I love the art style. I love anything with Japan. I've always loved in games. So there's a lot to do here and a lot of fun. Like I said, combat is really great. And one really awesome bonus with this game as well, that is fully co-op on all platforms. So if someone's got it on Steam, you got it on Xbox, whichever way, or you both of you on Game Pass, but he's got PC Game Pass, you guys can play it together. Next up, we got Dishonored 1 and 2. And what can I say about Dishonored? Probably my favorite stealth game on this list, and probably a game that got me into stealth. I remember first time playing Dishonored 1 and I could not get into it. It was very frustrating, sneaking around. I've never been a person who likes be playing rogues instead of things game. But then I gave this game more of a try. And just the way you can approach each mission in this game really made me understand what stealth games can really be. And I'm totally grateful for Dishonored, to its crazy art style, awesome redesigned world, awesome and satisfying combat, really great story, and probably one of the best stealth games if you ask me, in my personal opinion. And maybe one of my, I'm biased about it because being my first stealth game that I really loved. I just love Dishonored. And as you jump into the second one, continuing Corvo's story, you get to choose to play with him or his daughter in the second one, and just expands of what made Dishonored 1 so great. Dishonored 2 does that even more for me, and again, the story was epic. The combat is still as satisfying as the first one. Like I said, the stealth approach in missions, your supernatural abilities in the games that you can do, how you approach and take the targets out, and a really great story nonetheless. This is one of Bethesda's best things on Game Pass, I always say, and some people haven't tried Dishonored yet, and I know maybe you're not into stealth games like I was. I always highly recommend Dishonored, and I just love this game. And I don't want to rant and go on, just play Dishonored if you haven't. It's on Game Pass. If you have the subscription, at least try it out. I'm sure you will love it. What a great game. And that's it for me, guys, on this list. Please sure do leave a comment below if you feel like I left out some really great stealth games on Game Pass that maybe you have played that I have missed. Please do leave them in the comment, or leave some comments of next couple of list of games you want to see, or you're interested in playing it to do a next list of games. Thank you again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.